Okay, I just want to welcome everyone for coming out to this wonderful conversation that we're about to have. For those of you that are not familiar, here at St. Mary's College, we start all events with a land acknowledgement and pledge, which I'm going to read now. We acknowledge that the land on which we are learning, working, and gathering today is the ancestral home of the Yakimeco and Piscataway peoples. We also acknowledge that St. Mary's City was partially built and sustained by enslaved people of African descent. Through this acknowledgement, we recognize these communities and all those who have been displaced and enslaved through colonization. Given the unique importance of the land on which we sit and given the unique educational mission of St. Mary's College of Maryland as the National Public Honors College, we pledge to continue to unearth and understand the historic realities so that they inform all of our work. We also pledge to work tirelessly in making our institution more accessible, inclusive, equitable, especially for those populations most affected by societal inequities. We do this with the understanding that by supporting and learning from all our diverse communities, we build a more sustainable future for all. And I can't think of a better way to illustrate that than with the conversation that we're about to have today on Black baseball in Southern Maryland, a tradition that kind of has gone the way of history, but needs to be told and shared with everyone. At this time, I'm going to invite up Ms. Gwendolyn Bankins, President of Historic Sauderley.
First off, I want to thank you for coming here today and supporting the Southern Maryland History Coalition. Yes, and you'll understand why I had a problem with that in a minute. We are the 52nd National Heritage Area in the country. The Southern Maryland National Heritage Area is well known for its storytelling. And if you don't know, Maryland has 13 heritage areas. And it took the president in 2003 to sign that into law for us to become a national heritage area. And it is because of our storytelling that we are a national heritage area. Lucille Walker and her amazing team that works relentlessly to preserve all history in our region. Hugh and Diane Davies, who keep over 30 community partners on top of community conversations around dismantling racism and privilege in Southern Maryland. This week, Historic Sauderley had close to 200 eighth grade students walking in 320 years of shared and connected American history. Can anybody think of a question they had? Can history be erased? My response, no. Someone lived it, someone experienced it, someone documented, so you can't erase our history or whitewash it. This is where we share the importance of oral history alongside what's written in the books. The Southern Maryland Equity and History Coalition, the UCAC, and the Slackwater Project in our communities hold those stories of those who come before us. For the baseball players and anyone else here who have notable individuals in our community that helped to build it, please get the information off the table and contact us so we can have those stories and document them. Oral histories translate history into experience. Whether it's a Sunday gathering after church, a baseball game, a day on a boat, storytelling turns everyday moments into powerful cultural memory, helping others feel the history, not just learn it. Storytellers in our region do more than preserve the past. They guide us towards the future. They help communities reclaim narratives that were silenced, build pride and identity, foster understanding across cultures, and create meaningful connections between the generations. We are here today because Miss Alma, Kelsey, and myself had a conversation at a meeting. And that was simply the spark that got this fire going. Tyrone Harris advised me before he passed away that we had some of the best players you would ever see. My grandfather was associated with the Oakville Tigers. I never even thought about it being created at a time when history was segregated. For me, in the 70s, Black baseball allowed us to not feel the pressures that our parents felt, that we often feel now today. Whether Mr. Yorkshire was paying us money for the balls that we found, we had wives, grandmothers, and moms in the concession stands. It was an opportunity to see your community and your family. There were no phones, no computers. It was simple and it was priceless. The Black baseball players connected to leagues formed around 1958 in Southern Maryland present a powerful but often overlooked chapter of local and regional history. These teams were part of a broader tradition that followed the era of the Negro Leagues and continued even after integration began in Major League Baseball. And to put some historical context behind that, by 1958, Jackie Robinson had already broken the color barrier in 1947. But many Black players, especially in rural areas like Southern Maryland, still played in community-based leagues. These leagues were semi-professional or amateur, organized through churches, communities, and local sponsors, and central to Black social and cultural life. Ms. Alma brought it up at a meeting that a lot of families connected at these meetings. She was telling the story of someone who was saying they were coming to Happy Land, and she said, well, I know your father's not letting you go to the bar, but she could come to the softball game. So many of our parents may have met each other or community members at these softball games. Sunday baseball games became a major gathering, often after church, where families, food, music, and fellowship came together. Many of these players were farmers, watermen, or laborers during the week, and skilled athletes on the weekend, community leaders and role models. In your programs, you will see a list of players and a list of teams. At this time, I would like to recognize the players which are sitting across the aisles here. If we could, please give them the recognition they so deserve, and as well as on the stage. They didn't just play baseball, they continued the legacy. These athletes carried forward the spirit of the Negro League, discipline, excellence, and pride, even without the national recognition. They were building community and connecting families. The games were social anchors. They created safe spaces during segregation, and they preserved cultural memory. Much of this storytelling consists of players, families, and community members recounting rivalries against towns, legendary players whose names may not be widely recorded, and the joy and unity of Sunday baseball. So programs like Sunday Revisited, a conversation on Black baseball in Southern Maryland, they capture living history before it was lost. It honors players who were never formally recognized and connects the younger generation to local heritage. I want to thank you for showing up today and giving your time to honor the league and its players. Now let us spend our Sunday afternoon with the players who were hidden in plain sight. We have not forgotten you. We recognize your commitment to continuing the legacy. My beloved community, these athletes carried forth the spirit of the Negro League. How about another round of applause?
The way this is going to go, I have a few questions just to start the conversation, and eventually we're going to open up for a Q&A from the audience or people wanting to share their memories towards the end of the program. The first question I have, gentlemen, what got you involved in the baseball league? Why did you get involved?
Who's going to go first?
Anyone.
I'll go first. I had some relatives that lived on Kavanaugh Road in Oakville, and I had relatives up there, and my dad he would go up there and watch the Oakville Tigers and the Patuxent Sluggers were playing. And I saw that game. I guess I was 5 or 6 years old. And I took to it, and I played it for, everybody in here probably knows, I played for the better part of my life. I did. I played either baseball, and then that moved into softball until I was 62.
Okay.
So
And you don't want to share your age right now?
I'll be 75 in August.
There you go. Anyone else want to talk about how they became involved with the league?
I grew up in Quasco, Maryland, and on Sundays, my dad couldn't wait to get out of church to go home to go to a ball game. So I chased him during that time, so I got to travel around to all the communities. We had a ball field in Quasco called the Quasco Royals, but I ended up playing with for a couple of years with the Bryantown Orioles. So a lot of the teams on this list we played against, but I've had a faction for that, and I ended up playing in college at Bowie, and that baseball stuck with me, and I became a Hall of Famer at Bowie.
Very good.
Yeah, I became affiliated with the Southern Maryland Independent Baseball League kind of as a left curve. You know, I'm a transplant here in the county because I retired from the Navy in 1974 and I stayed here. And I got involved in the league through my wife because my wife was great friends with this fellow's parents here, Leroy Thompson and Celia Thompson from Charlotte Hall Rockets. And I started going up on Sundays to watch the games there, and I got involved in the league as a secretary probably before I became involved in the local teams. That's how I got involved in the league.
I got involved early on. I think we used to have a couple of neighborhood teams. Barbie had a team, and Joe Murdoch had a team. And we made some makeshift ball mounds and stuff like that. I think our field was like my grandmother and my uncle's front yard. And they used to say we used to play on a sleigh hill. I remember those terms. But from then on, we had like a B League with Mr. Bailey. Then it was like an A League with Mr. Lewis. And you know, that kind of like got us ready because like, you know, baseball was already started. So we got a chance to see some of the older guys, but then we just moved right on in with them. And, you know, baseball has been, you know, it's been my pastime. In fact, I still try to play because now they got senior leagues. And I'm out there on Saturday mornings. I still can catch the ball. I still can put the bat on the ball. I can't run that well, but they got rules where you can get a runner, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. I'm not long ball Larry no more. A buddy of mine called me Punching Judy, but we still have a lot of fun out there. I meet a lot of people out there, you know. We play around the Beltway called, it's called DCMSBL. That's like, I think it's Maryland Senior Baseball League. And we play Saturday mornings, play wood bat,
Okay.
you know, and I still try to be active in my community. I live in PG County now, and I coach a little bit, so. You know, I just been, you know, doing baseball. That's my pastime. It get me out the house. You know, still a lot of fun to me.
Some people have golf, some people have baseball. Yes, sir.
Just to feed off something Larry said, we both played together in 1966 for Mr. Ted Bailey and Little League Baseball. And prior to that, there was a community team, just 2 or 3 teams. I think there was a team in Leonardtown and one in Chappaquiddick, and we played Little League, Pony League, or whatever it was called back then, in 1965-66. And then, of course, our siblings played. My brothers, who are just older than I am, is how I got to play for Charlotte Hall Rockets. But early on, yeah, we played community baseball right in the neighborhood, and then went on to play for the Rockets.
I got involved a little differently than they did. I was 19 years old. I was going to 7-Eleven, and this guy got out of his vehicle, and he had a chaw of tobacco about this big that stood on the side of his face. And I had on a baseball shirt. And he said, "Young man, do you play ball anywhere?" I said, at the time I was going to the college. I said, "Yes, sir, I play for St. Mary's College." He says, "I need you to play for me." Now, that was Mr. Lawrence Yorkshire. I didn't know him at that time. "What's your name anyway?" And I told him my name. And he said, "Wait a minute." He wrote down what time I got to be there, what time the practice was, and don't be late. So that's how I got involved with the Oaksville Tigers.
I got involved following my uncles and cousins playing ball back in the late 60s or early 60s. The Calvert Stars. I had an uncle and 2 cousins playing ball, and it was my ambition to always to play for the Calvert Stars. And my cousins and I, we played Little League and Babe Ruth ball. The unfortunate side was that the Calvert Stars team became defunct by the time we were old enough to play, but I did eventually play in the league for the Southern Maryland Stars. But our field, the ball field was basically my backyard. And through the week after the games were played, cousins and I would go and play ball, 4-on-4 playing baseball on a baseball field, and taking tobacco sticks and hitting stones to improve our batting skills and that sort of thing. But I've always wanted, aspired to be part of that of the Calvert Stars team. But I'm here representing those players who did play for that league at that time.
I do have something else to say about the Southern Maryland Baseball League itself. Apparently in 1980, the Southern Maryland Baseball League was kind of reinvented as the Southern Maryland Independent Baseball League.
That's right.
Manned by Clifton Doc Fenwick over here, Leroy Thompson, and Bill Martin.
That's right.
And the league went on until 1994. Was the last year we played together, I believe. And after that, I played for Clifton, who was playing in the Charles St. Mary's League in 1995, and that was the last time I played. But
well, I think I have the long way around there. I had 5 brothers and 1 sister, and when I got started in my backyard with my mother, playing rag ball or whatever we did, and I developed a passion for it. So then I kept on, when I got in school, we kept on playing, whatever athletics was there. And then we got a community team, and somewhere in 53 or 54, and actually we got paid to play. A guy by the name of Mr. Stephen Young out of Hollywood, that was the president of the NAACP, would fundraise for the organization, and he would have baseball teams playing, charging admission, and he was giving each team that played $25 per team. So how he made the money, I don't know, but because the admission was no more about 25 cents or 50 cents at that particular time. But then, 1958, I think Richard Porty, Mr. James Forrest, and some other guys got together to form the league. And our team were Avenue Giants at that time down in 7th District. And we went from there to Clements, which became the 3 Cs, and we ended up at Chaptico. And that's where the Chaptico Braves became part of the Southern Maryland Independent Baseball League, and that's where we ended up. That's where we ended up playing at.
Very good. The next question you've kind of already answered, but what's that?
What was that? What was the question?
The question is, you've already kind of answered it. Why did you choose this league specifically? Why not another league?
Another league?
Yeah.
What other league?
The other league at that time when we started playing, there were two other. There was a Catholic league out there, which became the Charles and St. Mary's County League, and the blacks were not allowed to play in that league. No, we weren't. They would not allow players in the 1980s, and I think I don't know if Herbert want to expound on this or not, but there was an incident down at Old Gum at that particular time that they didn't want him to play down there. No. And so that's how the Southern Maryland Independent Baseball League got started, but it started as the Southern Maryland Baseball League in 1958. And it lasts for about 2 years, I guess, 59. Richard Porte decided that he would do something else, and I know in 1960 we didn't have a team. And 61, I don't know, we played pickup ball. We had to manage our own schedules and everything. And from 61, they played games until 1964, I think. When I came out of service, they still playing. Everybody was going. Then they got together and started a league that had schedules and whatnot. From that, and I think that lasted until the 70s, and then they got raggedy again. And teams started falling out and whatnot. And then I think in the 70s, Leroy Thompson, Bill Martin, and I and some other guys that started back in the 50s got together and remade the league again. And that's where it was until it folded in 1994. And I want to make one correction here. I saw in the program that in the 1990s, the league folded because in the 1990s were fully integrated teams with the strongest support drew off the top players. That did not actually happen because in the 1990s there were still teams out there that did not have integrated ball players. And our league, Southern Maryland Independent Baseball League, folded because I claim softball and bingo, not any other league.
Softball and bingo.
Sophomore.
So,
Basically was softball.
I think it's just important for some of the younger people in the audience to understand that even with desegregation occurring, there's still the element of segregation that was holding fast within Southern Maryland. And, the fact is, that's the reason why for that softball question was, we all know the reason why. Doors were closed.
Absolutely.
And you had to make your own way. And, sometimes we forget history in that sense.
And in fact, I think that the Braves were the first team in our league that really actually integrated. From that point on, the other teams began to pick up white players to play with them also.
Okay. This goes on to kind of an aspect of your play. What was your best game and what made it stand out?
best game. What was your best game?
What was your best game and what made it stand out?
What memories do you have of the best game that you ever played and what made it special?
Oh, wow. Let me think.
That's a tough question.
I don't have the best game and whatnot, but I would say the best game that I had was when I played in the same lineup with my son. That was the best emotional feeling that I had for playing baseball.
Amen.
The best game that I had was with the Bryantown Orioles when we played at Wilmers Park, and we played the Indianapolis Clowns.
Nice.
Oh, boy, it's a tough one. Well, I think the best game I had, unfortunately, it was against Doc. My brother was catching for him, and I think I had a two-hitter that day, and I beat you guys. Yeah!
But then he ended up coming with me.
I did end up playing with him my last couple seasons. You rascal.
Well, one of the best games I recall for myself, we were playing at Wacomico, and I came in relief pitching behind my cousin Lonnie Stewart there. And we were winning 10-8, and the bases were loaded, and I walked the first guy.
Oh, no, you.
And that made it 9-10, and then I struck out the next three.
Oh, there you go.
That was my best game.
He's being modest. I'm serious. He's being modest.
No.
He was one of the best pitchers in the league.
No.
Because you see some guys, you just know they're flamethrowers, and he could do that. But everything that came out of his hand looked the same. His curveball looked the same. His fastball looked the same. His motion was so good. And I think I only got one hit off this rascal my whole time.
Well, thank you, Dave.
I can't remember a best game. We had a lot of good games. I mean, we was winning a lot. You know, Shaw Hall had it going on for a minute. We had a nice
1981,
stretch.
Yeah. 1981.
We had a nice stretch, but I remember my brother telling me one time that I had struck out the last 11 outs at one time, and I thought that was pretty good. But when this thing started, I started seeing some clippings, right? So, you know, I still work, so I got something on the billboard at work, you know what I mean? And I met some, you know, I got still play. I met people, I got a buddy from Panama, and he's a baseball guy. And I gave him a clip, and he said, man, I'm gonna have to start looking at you different, you know? So, but yeah, I mean, it was just a lot of fun, you know, that Sunday League thing. I mean, to go back on far as the integration part, I had a chance to play where I was kind of like the only black on the team, and played in the industrial league. So I would play in the Southern Maryland League on Sundays, but we played during the week. So, and there was another St. Mary's Charles League, which was pretty much the white league. And I didn't play with them on Sundays because I played with Charlotte Hall and Oakville on Sundays. But it was just a good time. You know, it was just a good time. I mean, all of that segregation, I experienced it very young, because I remember me and George, we played Little League ball, and they had the All-Star game at Penny's.
That's right.
Right? And when we got there, we couldn't play.
No.
And the excuse was because we played Bobby and Joe had a team.
That's right.
Because we was playing in that league, so they wouldn't let us play.
Yeah. It
And
really
that
wasn't
was
a
kinda
league.
like-
It wasn't a league.
We only had 3 teams. So
Yeah.
Anyway.
At the, they told us the night of the game, you know what I mean, that we couldn't play. So I remember that. No ill will, but that's just what it was, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I wish it was something different, but that's how it was.
This is 1966.
I just wish that from the, you know, with the grassroots that we would hear to prepare these young guys today to, you know, continue this baseball thing, because with my coaching, I get a lot of kids that just start playing baseball in high school. And you gotta compete against some guys that played grassroots sometime, and it's kind of rough. It can be real rough.
Just to expound on what Larry and George T. was saying. I played in both leagues. And I remember when I first tried to play in the St. Mary's Charles League, I went to this practice, and it was at Robinson Barnes. And Pat Woodburn, who's sitting in, he remembers, because it was Lou Clements. He was the coach of this team. And we played a scrimmage. And I think I did pretty well in that scrimmage. And he never called me back. So I said, well, I guess this league ain't integrated, but then over time, I did play in softball. Really killed baseball in St. Mary's County, in both leagues. The softball was such a social event. It was more than just playing the game. It was hanging out and having beer and sitting down with people you just played against and y'all, fellowshipping.
That's right.
It was more fellowshipping going on in that. And I think that is what ruined actually both of the leagues in St. Mary's County.
Can I say?
Softball
go
also
ahead.
got a lot of the ball players that really could not play baseball.
Right.
They could hit the baseball, they could hit the softball. So rather than trying out for the baseball teams, they went to softball, which was easier.
Right. I'd like to say something about the conditions that we played in. We didn't have these beautiful fields that you see out here today. I remember playing in Oaksville. Right of center field was a home run. Left of center field was a double because of the field dimensions weren't accurate. And we had that in, I think, almost all of the fields. I mean, they were anatomically almost correct, but not correct. And to go back to what George was saying, in 1966, I'll tell you how bad it was. I had made an all-star team as a Little League player. I was the only black player on the team. We played out in Tall Timbers, where I grew up. I got selected for the All-Stars, and I went to go play at Penny's. I don't know if it's still there. I haven't been over there in years. But they let me warm up. But when it's time for the game, I was told later, I wasn't told then, that if I'd have went out on the field, they would have forfeited and walked off the field. Wow. So you see how far full circle we've come. Yes. And I like this discussion because this stuff needs to be put out there so it doesn't go back again. We don't get back into this thing. So that's all I want to say there.
I can recall trying out for Little League teams in Solomon. And again, my cousins and friends, about 7 or 8 of us. And we tried out for the Little League team in Solomon's, and we were clearly better than some of the other guys younger boys on the field. And none of us got chosen. And I found out that part of the problem was that we didn't have, for instance, I didn't have a father at the time to take me to the game, to the field, to push. And so you didn't have the parents that push to make sure that these coaches and managers treat you right. You didn't have that support. We just went out there ourselves, on our own, and they said, well, we don't need to pick these boys. And so that was a great disappointment during those times.
You asked the question about the most memorable game.
Yes.
My take is a little different. Even though they had me up here as a Ridge Cardinal, I was a coach with the Ridge Cardinals for a few years, but I managed the Patuxent Sluggers. And my most memorable game was as the manager of the Patuxent Sluggers, who had the opportunity to kick Ridge Cardinals from one end of the ridge all the way back to Lexington. That was I had to think about that for a while. But after folks started talking, and I said, oh yeah, when I was managing the back Sluggers, and we played the Ridge Cardinals, and Ridge was pretty much a pretty good team. And we had a bunch of ragtag guys, but they played good ball. But we managed to beat them that day.
Very good. Next question. Who was the best player you ever played with or against?
That's a good question. Wow. I remember a Pacific day that we was playing against Bryantown, and I was pitching, right? And I was young, but coming down the stretch, I gave up the league. Somebody knocked me out of the park, hit me good, and so coming to the bottom of the ninth, my big brother about there, he saved the day,
Yep.
Yeah, he hit one out, and we had a walk-off. So that was, you know, I'll keep that one.
The best player that I ever played against is 1, 2, 3, 4 players down to my left, your right. He's sitting up here. His name is Herbie Smith.
Okay.
He ain't the best player I ever played against. No,
I'm gonna name players. I'm gonna say a team,
I thought his
Charles
son
Hall.
was pretty.
the whole team.
The whole team.
There you go, Doc. That's right. Charlotte Hall Rockets. Very good. No, there were a lot of good players in the league. You know, it was a time of era. You know, I remember Mo Ganser had a guy named Dallas who I thought was really good. I mean, the guy could really hit. And growing up, before I started playing, watching a guy named Harry Coombs, I thought was one of the best pitchers I ever seen. Yes. But later someone told me, oh, he wasn't that good, but I always thought he was good. I thought he was good. So, you know, it was depending on the era as to who was good at the time. So.
Exactly.
Yeah, you make a good point about the era. I guess, because growing up, the best player I can recall, again, on Capital Stars teams was a pitcher by the name of Ronnie Smith. He had a devastating curveball in that ball, and I can always remember that he would just strike guys out left and left, left and right. And again, I recall him being such a great player.
One of the best players I ever played against was, or seen play, I thought he was young. I thought your son. He was really a promising athlete. It's a shame he passed away too young.
Oh, yeah.
But he was very talented.
He was good. Very good. Excellent player.
What was your
The thing I
fondest?
want to get out there also, before we end this thing, our integration part about this, there was a team that in Charles and St. Mary's County League, and I think Larry played with that team. And the manager, he was one of the guys that really kept his teams from getting together. Because I know there was one time that they were talking about merger between the two leagues, and it didn't happen. And then I think it was in the 90s, they had a tournament every year. The teams from Virginia and whatnot would get together and play in Charles and St. Mary's. And this particular year, our league decided to get into it. And he wanted the bars out. We had to threaten to get the NAACP involved into this, to get into this tournament. And when we got into the tournament, he pulled his team out. His thing was that we were not fundamentally sound and whatnot. And when I joined that league, get back first, we got into the tournament. And I think that we could have won the tournament. We went 1-2. And I think we lost the first game. I think we were leading the, what was it, the 5th or 6th inning that you were leading, and with Aramir behind you and 2 runs scored?
Yeah. I remember.
Okay, we lost that game. Then we won the next game, beating Fairfax. My son hit a 2-run home in the 9th inning to win that game.
Yeah.
And then we lost the next one. But when I joined the league, talking about fundamentals of baseball, this particular guy was one of the worst. I remember one day I was sitting there watching the game before our game, and there was a guy breaking towards third to steal, from second to third to steal third base. When the catcher gets the ball, the normal thing you do on a situation like that, you run towards the runner to make him stop. What this dummy did was threw behind the runner, and the guy made it third base. You know the manager. I'm not going to call his name, but you know the manager. You play for the team.
What is your fondest memory from your time in the league?
What's that?
What's your fondest memory from your time in the league?
My fun was that the league stayed together as long as there. We saw some improvements, and we went further than what other people that came before us went through and whatnot. We did better than what they did, and I think the last thing would be that we won the championship in 1983.
You should know Billy Williams, though.
Oh, yeah, I know Billy. I know Billy.
What was the question?
What was the question?
Was-
We can't hear,
what-
the monitors are
What
not
was your
on up here.
fondest?
What is your fondest memory from your time in the league?
My time in the...
Yeah, what's your
in the
best
league?
memory? Your
Oh, yeah, I can tell you that easy. Eating them hot dogs.
There you go.
I ain't lying. That was some good hot dogs. I mean, no, I think my fondest memory was just the camaraderie of not only the team members, that your teammates, but like here, the friendships you've cultivated after baseball. All of these guys here, I consider my friends, and that's one of my fondest memories that I can cultivate now. And while we were playing, if I won, that was my fondest memory.
Well, my memory, or fondest memory, probably was as a team. In 1981, the Charlotte Hornets Rockets won 21 games straight.
They sure did.
I thought that was a great accomplishment as a team. And we won the title, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 times. So those were all great memories. Good team.
The team.
Yeah, I remember one game we was playing, and we was playing right by this big Amish farm, Amish. And after the game, we look up, and all the Amish boys was leaning up on the fence, just checking us out, you know. That was pretty cool. That was something that you don't
they
see
come and watch the game, man.
too often, man. And that was you know, that was some fun. Yeah. But it was always fun to see all your family, because there's a lot of family support. Man, on Sundays, man, fried chicken, cold beer, hot dog, and sometimes the DJ would be out there, dust flying, get the drink. You know, what beer we didn't sell, we'll drink it up, and then we'll go get some more. Be out there for a long, long time, man. That was some real good times.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were.
You know, yeah.
Yeah. Good fried chicken.
What I remember is just getting out of the car at Robinson Barnes and starting to walk to the field, and you smell that fried chicken cooking before the game. All the time.
That's right.
That was black baseball. I think that was my last year playing organized playing baseball.
But I do, you know, I want to make one thing public. I never was called. I talked to George about it, but he won't give me any credit for it.
I was the pitcher for sure.
The best thing as far as the Chapel Braves baseball team was the year, I think it was 92 or 93, that we beat Charlotte Hall 5 times in a row, which has never been done before.
Be some argument on that.
We beat them 3 in the regular and 2 in the playoffs.
Don't be some argument on that.
Hey, Bob.
I missed that one, Doc. What'd you say?
We beat y'all 5 times in a row.
He said it'd be
Read the paper. I would told you about it. Read the paper.
I don't remember.
We beat you. I know you don't. You know, we beat you 3 times during the regular season and 2 times in the playoffs.
In one season?
Yes, in one season.
I think I was out that year.
No, you weren't out that year. No, you weren't out that year.
I was hurt that year.
Go through your papers. You weren't out that year.
I'd like to speak, but all my managers are deceased, so I don't know what to say. All 3 of them managers are deceased,
Okay.
so I have nothing to say.
What
How
I
was
do
the team you
remember,
had, though?
what I do remember.
What was the best
is
team you had down there?
When Ridge Cardinals
Well, you
won,
might be.
won the league
what was your best year
championship.
you
I
had?
don't know. I was on the team then.
Oh, no good year.
But we won the league championship,
1982 or 3?
and
82?
they didn't
Why you
even
say that?
give the champion
Herbie Smith, Kevin
players
Clark.
individual trophies. I remember that.
Well, as far as I know, not any players got individual trophies from the league. The team itself got trophies.
The team got a trophy.
But not the players.
The team got a trophy.
Yeah.
Players didn't.
Not the players.
I
The
never.
players were got most valuable player awards, batting titles awards, and what's up. Each individual player did not get a trophy for winning the championship. That never happened.
Well, maybe that's why. Maybe that's why. But I thought that was kind of different.
With the time of the league, were there any major league scouts at these games?
And stats.
Were there scouts at the games?
We had, it was never officially, anybody kept a record in advance. But there were records kept that batting titles, home run titles, RBI titles, and whatnot. Those things were acknowledged during the season. What I think what we'd do, we would, at meetings or whatever, we would go through the score books and come up with those averages and whatnot. But as far as keeping the records for a year and whatnot, no.
Off the same vein, did any of the players make it to the minors or majors?
Yes, quite a few. I know Robbie Summer went down. Myron Thompson went down. It was quite a few that went down from the league itself. I know Bryantown had 3 or 4 players that went down from the, not Bryantown, Brandywine. John Chestnut, Gene Fleet, and Farley Banks.
Farley Banks with the Durango.
Those guys from this league went down to the minors.
William Smith played.
He went to Briscoe? Yeah. Okay. And George Spriggs, who was in that league for a while, but with Tracy, he spent about 20-some years in AAA.
William Smith played too.
Yeah.
He played for, he got drafted out of Great Mills by the Yankees.
Kind of mentioned it earlier, but just want to touch on this. Were players paid, or at least how were expenses covered? How were expenses covered? Were players paid anything?
Most of the teams had sponsors. Ryan got sponsors. Oh boy. That's how most of the teams operated.
I can remember, he asked about whether players were paid.
Yep.
Yeah, I can remember my time with the league, and I believe I was still secretary at that time, and the accusations was that Mighty Yorkshire, who owned and managed the Oakville Tigers, was paying ball players. And if you didn't think there was a ruckus going on, we're not supposed to talk about that, but that's the way it really was. and to further pour a little gasoline on the fire and cause folk to believe that that was so, to my recollection, and maybe Doc Fenwick can straighten me out, I think Oakville was the first team that had a white player, and he was being paid. Doc? Doc? Anybody from Oakville here remember that? What? Somebody look at the back end now.
That white player you're talking about is right there.
Oh, okay. Well, we could straighten this out right now. Were you being paid? Okay.
We want to know right now.
But that was one big heck of a row, as I understood.
Look, that's a taboo question.
I mean,
Were we getting paid? I will give you an answer when I get to heaven.
some guys off my team that was offered money, but they wouldn't go.
On Mr. Yorkshire's defense, he was just the type of guy, if you had a good day, he would treat you a little bit. You know what I mean?
Nice way to put it, Larry.
Yeah. And we had more Mr. Yorkshires, we probably would still have a league. But the way that I think the league was
Three
funded
players
is
down there. If they'd like to say something, I wish they would.
Mike,
Your dad wants you to come
Mike.
up. He wants you to come
Come
up
up.
and say something.
Three of them.
all three.
Mike Bone.
Oh, yeah.
David, we wouldn't have more games if that's what's strong all at once.
I wonder. That's Michael.
But I know.
But you know, he never paid. He never gave me every Sunday.
It's either you or more games. I said, God, you might just keep on going over. So, I mean, more games.
Yeah, I was going over my hands, but I wasn't going
Say something about the red baseball.
I was mad with
That piggy buck.
Oh, this is my dad, 96 years old.
Piggy buck.
The best thing about the Ridge Cardinals, which we have Ridge Cardinals fans.
How you doing?
The best thing about the Ridge Cardinals,
Yes, sir.
which he owned and sponsored the team,
He sponsored the team?
yes, Dad, he sponsored the team the total time they were playing.
Wow.
We started off playing softball. Our uniforms were jeans and a white T-shirt. Then we went over to baseball. We played baseball for 30-some years. On the team I would play with, because I better not go someplace else.
Of course not.
We had a fan club. Our fan club would go to church. They meet back up at Barnes and Son with their coolers packed and everything. And they would follow us to every away game that we went to. We had a convoy. And they totally enjoyed when Ridge Cardinals had a away game just as much as they did when they had a home game.
Right.
We were one of the few teams that had lights on our field.
That's right.
And when the other teams would come down into play, they didn't want to leave. Because they had the bar right there as well. And he was the owner of the bar, and he made sure that people enjoyed themselves. And we had chicken frying on the field as well as over in the bar, and they looked forward to it.
Amen.
And the Ridge Cardinals lasted, what, Doc, 35, 40 years?
Every bit there.
Mid-80s. Every bit of it. And one thing about it, I don't know, it was about 12 teams in the Southern Maryland Independent Baseball League.
Well,
I don't know. I think at one time we had close
I knew it was
to
close.
20-some teams out of
And
this area.
everybody enjoyed going to baseball on Sunday. And for God's sake, if we had a night game on a Saturday night, somebody made quite a bit of money on Saturday night. That's right. So, I thank my dad for being there for the community as well as the teams and the players. Thank you.
Eddie Banks. Eddie Banks.
Eddie Banks. Eddie is a retired policeman from D.C. who would come down from D.C. to play with us.
Whoa.
He didn't get paid.
Sorry.
You just got fried chicken and beer.
He also worked down at Camp Brown.
I'm serious.
You know, they used to sponsor the kids coming out of D.C. During the summer. So he was a very important part to the Ridge Cardinals, to the community. I thank Eddie and the other Ridge Cardinals that are here. I just thank the whole entire teams. I mean, it gave us so much to look forward to. During my time, we did not go through a lot of the racial things that went on. We had so much fun just doing our own thing. I heard some of the guys talk about some of the racial issues that went on, and it never entered into the teams that I played with or played against. We had one player, and I didn't want to bring it up. They were talking about one of the best players. He was white. Kevin Clark.
Kevin was good.
He was white, but he had a little bit of soul in it. That's it. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
And I've got one more question before we open it up to the audience, which is, oh, yes. All right. I'll introduce them in a second. Who were the umpires in this league? We've heard about the players, we've heard about the managers, we've heard about how the league was structured, but who were the officials on the field?
The late Bill Martin should get most of the credit for the umpires. I think when we organized the league back in whatever it was, he also just became the umpire commissioner and got regular umpires. Before that, the umpires was just somebody that would pick up at the stands or whoever was friends or brothers or whoever would umpire the game that particular day.
That's true.
Very good.
But after, in the 70s up until we folded, we had organized umpires.
Okay. Well, we have a special guest who's supposed to be joining us.
Hello? Oh, it must be women's softball.
I was listening to all these wonderful stories while I was standing in the back. And actually, I heard somebody say something about the Indianapolis Clowns.
Someone asked about that earlier?
Hello, everybody. I am Mamie Peanut Johnson. And like my fellow baseball brothers up here, I remember facing a lot of different challenges. Now, some of you may have heard of me and some of you may not have, and you might be wondering, well, how'd she get the nickname Peanut? Well, if Mr. Bush had asked me, one of my funniest memories of when I was playing, I remember one time we were playing against the Kansas City Monarchs, and Hank Bayless came up to bat, and I was pitching, and I struck him out the first time. I guess he didn't like that too much, and he wanted to get a little attitude about it. Talking about, this little girl ain't bigger than a peanut. I ain't scared of her. So I proceeded to just completely strike him out. I bet he was scared after that. But I was having the time of my life. I played for the Indianapolis Clowns for 2 years, from 17 to about 19 years old. It was a wonderful opportunity, those doors to be able to open for me. You know, they were talking about the integration, and Hank Aaron had already gone to the major leagues, and Jackie Robinson, of course, had already gone. So I was trying to fulfill my dreams of baseball. I always loved playing baseball and softball as a little girl. I used to play with the boys in my neighborhood. Maybe I shouldn't tell you that I practiced my pitching by throwing rocks and knocking birds out of trees. I didn't knock down any of the nests, but when I found out that there was an opportunity for women to start playing, I was thinking, this is my chance. This is my opportunity. So I tried out for the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League and didn't get selected. Can you guess why? But you know, when they say one door closes, another door opens. And I think back and I'm really grateful that even though that rejection stung and I was more than qualified, I met other people who gave me the opportunity to try out for the Indianapolis Clowns, and well, they hired me the next day, so that was the All-American Girls loss. But it was a wonderful experience, especially them not expecting for me to be able to throw a fastball. But my greatest pride came from learning the curveball from Satchel. Now, I didn't know who he was at the time. He was just another ball player to me. But then later on, I found out he was more than just another ball player. But on my team, they were my brothers. Just like I count all of you wonderful gentlemen, my brothers as well. So I just encourage each and every one of you to embrace those moments, hold tight to those memories, go have fun walking in the park, playing games, relaxing, just holding on to the part of our culture and our community that means the most to us, that means family to all of us. Thank you.
At this time, we can take a few questions from the audience, if there are any, or anyone who wants to comment about their time. Just come on up to the mic.
And Brian.
I'm Ben Bryan. I played with the Rich Cardinals. And I just had just one question. As a player, I believe he played for the Chaptico Braves. He was an amputee. He was the most impressive player that I had ever seen play in the independent league. I just remember, you remember what his name is?
Was it Anthony Fenwick?
He was an amputee. I think he had one leg. And he could hit the blazes out of the ball.
Anthony Fenwick.
Anthony
Dwight
Fenwick.
Comico? Yeah.
Philip, yeah.
What was his name?
Philip.
Anthony Fenwick.
Philip Yates.
Anthony Fenwick.
Anthony Fenwick? Yeah, I just remembered him being able to hit the snot out of the ball, and it was like whenever he got up to the plate, it was like either strike him out or he's gonna hit a home run. It was one or the other. He's a very impressive player.
It's Clifton's son.
It's his son.
Oh, it's his son?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Call him Tag.
Okay.
No, he said amputee.
Get back to the Indianapolis Clowns before you finish. At least, I think, and I played against this guy. He said he played for the Indianapolis Clowns. His name was Freddie Brown, that played with the Lexington Park Tigers.
Okay.
I would like if everyone would say what their names are and what their age is, so we can get an idea of the time frame.
I'm Clifton Fenwick, 80, going on 88.
I'm Ronald Clark, 73.
I'm Dave Briscoe, 71.
George Briscoe, 69.
Bernard Barnes, 96. Mike Barnes, 75.
Calvin King, 72.
Figgy Butler, age 78.
78, all right. Not nice to lie.
I'm Herb Hardy, 77.
Herbie Smith, 75.
Samuel Taylor, 89, and holding.
I'm Larry Thompson. I'm 69.
Very good. Yes, sir.
We have the question, what was your favorite bat? Was it wood or metal? Question for Bernard Barnes from Glenn Butler.
What type of bat? Wood bat?
The question is for Bernard. Who's the question?
Bernard.
What was his favorite bat?
He didn't play. He was only the owner.
He was on the owner.
He was George Steinbrenner.
Wood or metal bats? Did it make?
So, I didn't play, but my uncles played, and my grandfather was a part of the Charlotte Hall Rockets. And Sundays for him was an event. His name is Leroy Thompson. He would get up on Sunday morning, he would go out on the field, get the field together before the game. Then I would go with him. We'd go to the store, buy the beer, soda, chicken, hot dogs, hot dog buns, and bread, because the chicken was on a sandwich. And you had to have that hot chicken sandwich put with the grease that sticks to the bread and put a little hot sauce on it. And you might get one of the ladies in the neighborhood to make a bowl of potato salad. If you got that, your day was gonna be perfect, no matter if the Rockets won or not. But it was a whole event, and it was an all-day thing. You went to the game, everybody in the community was at the game. It was a lot of people there. It was just a good time, and my uncles always showed out. And my uncles, I had cousins, George T., my Uncle Larry's on the stage, my Uncle Alvin, my Uncle Dooney's right here, my Uncle Glenn and Dennis are not here, but they all played, and most of the team was family, so it was a family event. And then after the game was over, the field was beside my grandparents' house, so my grandmother made a big Sunday dinner, and everybody went there to eat, and then drove a mile up the road to my great-grandparents' house and sat out in her yard and drank beer and discussed the whole game, played the whole 9 innings over again in their yard. It was an event every Sunday, and everybody looked forward to it.
We have time for one more.
Yes, I have a question. I just want to try to figure out the history of what happened in St. Mary's County. Can you tell me whether softball, slow pitch softball was first before hardball, and then it became fast pitch softball, and then back to slow pitch softball?
Hardball was always.
Baseball first.
So you're saying that it was hardball first before slow pitch softball?
Exactly.
Oh, absolutely.
We started off playing fast pitch softball before we went to baseball.
What year was that?
That had to be,
That was
probably 15, maybe
was after
mid,
45,
early
right?
60s, mid 60s.
Hardball was back in the 40s.
I think the documentation.
But they were already playing baseball.
Sluggers won the baseball championship in '45.
I can only speak from my experiences, and
We used to play a lot of teams like DC.
I know there was like community fast pitch leagues back when baseball was going on. When baseball was going on, to me, baseball was it on Sunday. You went to church, you left church, you went to the game, wherever your team was playing, your community team was playing. Now, there might have been other leagues, softball, but it was nothing like the baseball league. Nothing like it.
You know, I was involved in the fast pitch softball league, and that was before, because they said baseball was a non-entity to me at that time, and this was like in the 70s at the Two Spot Club. And yes, we were always the left-handed stepchild, because you're not playing real ball. But we would play, we'd play like down at Bridge, and we would play down at Seaside View, and a lot of our teams were outside of the county, because baseball was king, the queen, the jack, the whole 9 yards. And of course, that league that we had formed in the county, that kind of folded up because of baseball. And the other thing is because a slow pitch softball came in. and it became economically feasible to play slow pitch, because when the guys started going to play slow pitch, it was a lot cheaper. You didn't have to spend $200 for a uniform. All you need was a stencil and a can of paint, and you paint the name on a T-shirt, and you got a jersey for a slow pitch team. And that's basically the way it was. It was really inexpensive compared to baseball, because you get an aluminum bat last year the whole season. Baseball, you go through a half a dozen wooden bats. You know, and that had a lot to do with, I know with the Pack Sluggers when I was with them, that had a lot to do with that team falling apart, because the guys rather play softball because the games were shorter. You could play them during the week, you know, after work, where the baseball was almost always on the weekend and Sundays. So that had a lot to do with breaking up at least that team there.
We have time for one more question, right down here in front, right there.
Question and comment. So when you said about when did the league start, so there's documentation that even back in the 40s and 50s, I mean, I know we have a picture out there of 1958 of a team for Oakville Tigers, before 58. So the question is, how can persons who are assembled in this room continue to pull all of this history together so that it is not lost? Because unfortunately, you know, you talk about the names of like Mr. Yorkshire. I mean, he was a manager and announcer, but he played for 15 years also prior to that. So how can we continue to make this event not just a one and done, that we can continue to make this grow?
Because you didn't have a lot of this history written down, you got to go to people like Mr. Barnes here, who has actually lived it and pull it out of his head. I'm sorry?
And Mr. Fenwick.
And Mr. Fenwick.
Oh, no, I can't go back that far.
But my comment is...
There were baseball back then.
Yeah,
and because, I mean, we got it from other people talking about it.
Right.
And there at least some documentation about 1945 with the Patuxent Sluggers.
Right.
But when I was growing up, I heard talk of other teams like Wycomico and those heavy teams and whatnot. So they were playing baseball before 1958.
They were.
But we are just going, I think what Wayne's got here is, when this particular era started, it was in 1958. But there were baseball before then.
Those teams back prior to 58, you'll find the Valley League Angels, the Piney Point Eagles. Leonardtown had a team, I don't know the name, but I try to go back.
Leonardtown with the Yankees.
The Yankees. I try to go back and just pick out of someone's head, you know, much older than I. No, I'm sorry, sir. But who can tell me the history. And that's what you can do. You can find someone who's a little bit older who can tell you the history.
So, you know, other than Mr. Barnes, I don't know who else can help you with anything before 58.
Right.
Can you hear this? Yes. I'm from the Charles St. Mary's League, actually, and we are getting ready to start our 80th season. And having written a little bit about the league, if you go to the Southern Maryland room, I know La Plata campus has it, maybe down here also, but all the old newspapers are on microfiche. Right. But my one question to you that I really had was the Charles St. Mary's League. We've just started a relationship with the National Semi-Pro Baseball Hall of Fame. We put in a class in 2022 and a class in 2025. And we have the point of contact for that organization, and I know that they would love to recognize great players and managers and founders of this Southern Maryland Independent League. And if you would like to see me afterwards, I can get you that point of contact, because I think it's more than time that recognition is way overdue. Thank you.
Yes, I wanted to say something. I think when this idea first came about, it was prior to the league baseball time. It was way back when you had the Valley Parrots, the Londontown Yankees, and the Piney Point Eagles. And then you had lots of teams that came down from Washington, D.C., brought down by Johnny Montgomery. And those were years ago. There's a few people, very few people left who knew much about those teams, but they played at the Ballard Diamond, which was in Callaway, and the Eagles had Diamond down in Piney Point, a lot of those, and a lot of other teams. So there's lots of history, and we'd like to figure out how to maintain or document some of this history. And at some point, UCAC will try to contact some of the Unified Committee for Afro-American History. We'll try to follow up with some of the team players in order to interview and document this history. But right now, we're kind of short of staff, but we will follow up and try to document some of that history. And we really appreciate your coming out and sharing this. It has been truly inspirational.
And I'd also like to bring up the Equity and History Coalition is a great way to also be a house for this information.
Speaking on behalf of the Equity and History Coalition, we have videotape this session. We will try to make that available. We, of course, have a website that includes a great deal of the history of the Black, Indigenous, and other people of color across Southern Maryland. We have a table out in the lobby, so check that. And the website's very good. We will capture what transpired in this wonderful session. Thank you all so much, and include that on the website as well. It's very important history, and we super appreciate it.
All right, with that, yes, if players can come up to the stage for photographs, that would be great. All you in the front rows, come up and join the gentleman up here so that we can take a photograph capturing this wonderful event. In addition, players will be meeting and greeting out in the orange sofa area. So if you want to continue the conversation with them. And with that, thank you everyone for coming out today.